is Elena Bartosh, your real estate investor. Today, my podcast about co-living, and today my guest, great guy, SubTo member John Riordan. Hi, John. John, you first. Hi, John.
Hey, Elena, thank
We
you
are
so
live.
much.
Yeah, thank you so
No,
much for
it's
being my guest.
the Starlink's trying.
Oh, connection is not perfect, right? How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing good. As you can tell, it's starting to get dark outside, and it was really rainy over in Europe right now.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, this is a investor's destiny. We can do W2 and we can do investment in the same time.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So today our podcast about partnership in real estate investment. We both are sub 2 members with John, and I know him little over than 1 year, and we both in co-living. And I would like, John, you today to share with our guys how you started your co-living journey and and share with us some of your golden nuggets. Please.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started real estate how I guess most people start real estate, just buying a property here and there. After my fourth property, the bank stopped lending to me, so it was kind of a realization moment, and
Mhm.
just started to flounder, started to reach out. Most of the people I could only reach out to were agents and loan officers, people who just make money off of me
Mhm.
buying stuff. And I was like, there has to be more. So started to go into bigger pockets, and then exhausted all of their podcasts. And I actually found SubTo, I forget which episode from Bigger Pockets Pace Morby was on, but joined the free group. And then within, I think it was like month and a half, I joined the full mentorship back in 2022. Um, and it's been amazing. But me with my W2, I can't do it all. I tried to do it all. I tried to do everything for probably 18 months. I tried wholesaling, tried capital raising by myself. Everything was super slow.
Mhm.
I have W2, I'm in the Army. So, that takes all the way from before breakfast until after dinner, almost every day. And then I get to help put the kids to bed until 9:30. And then I got to start with real estate at,
Mhm.
9:30 at night. Nobody likes calling. Nobody likes calls from people trying to buy their houses at that time. So it was tough.
Yep.
So I had to naturally just reach out to other wholesalers and agents and work with them. I primarily work inside of the community, but that's not a hard and fast rule. And
Mhm.
since then, I bought another two properties. And I'm starting to realize that uh, things are tough, right? They're tough for me. I'm seeing my mortgage go up. My sister, I talk with her every time she's over, and my friends, they actually had to move out of Colorado because of how expensive it was becoming. And so I thought, okay, well, we have a serious problem. And I knew the answer 15 years ago. My parents got
Mhm.
divorced, unfortunately, when I became an adult at 18 years old. And after I did not finish college, I joined the Army. And after I settled, I said, hey, Ma, come live with me. Dad wants to sell the house. And so my mom still lives with me. We're a multi-generational household. We have three generations in there. And then within a
Yeah.
year, yeah, it's weird because people are like, oh, the American dream and X, Y, and Z. And then I look back and yeah, my grandparents who are Polish, they were living with my aunt and uncle the entire time. They were a
Yep.
multi-generational household. So this like idea that these things are new, like house hacking is new, it's not new.
No. No.
Um, and then my sister, she came to live with me. because she was a single mom, 2 kids, and all she needed was 2 bed, 1 bath in the basement. And she lived there for a couple of years until she was on her feet. And now she's highly successful. She works for the state of Colorado. She had to work up. She
Mm.
has a couple of her own properties, couple of cars, 2 wonderful teenagers that are highly successful in their schooling. So, I knew this. I knew this over a decade ago that this was the direction that I needed to take in order for people to actually afford the houses that I was trying to buy. And then I started to talk to people within the community. I started to like realize this isn't just a Colorado issue. It's all across the nation. And you have to excuse me because I'm kind of insulated. Like right now I'm over in Europe. I've been gone.
John, you froze. Uh-oh. John, you froze.
Did
Yes, I'm
I?
sorry. John is overseas, so probably connection is not perfect.
How about now?
John? Oh, yeah, it's better. Yeah, I hear you.
All right. What was the last you heard?
Yeah, it was not new actually, you said, right? And to live with several generations the same house, it's nothing new.
Yeah, and I knew this a decade ago that I would have to go down this route in order for my real estate holdings to actually grow. But as I started to reach out and have deeper discussions with people in the SubTo community, I started to form my why. Why do I want to do this? Because there's all these things. I tried to do short-term rental, didn't like it. I really don't,
Mhm.
nurses are great. I think that's tapped out, whatever. But, you know, going back to my mom and my sister, my dad lives with his girlfriend. That's that's a kind of a co-living. And so, my why is for affordable housing, and how I'm doing that is through co-living. And specifically, I want to help the demographics of single mothers, domestic violence
Mhm.
survivors, young professionals. I have 4 guys in a house right now, young 20s, trying to get on their feet, can't afford anything else, horrible credit. Have another house that's a struggling family, single mother with her 4 children. Um, and then we just stood up another one that's sober living for females. And so there's,
Mm.
right there, multiple ways of going about co-living.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, John, for doing that. So much great stuff. And for single mom, if mama stands for sober house, yeah, I'm impressed, really much impressed. And do you do everything in Colorado or you invest in different states?
So right now, just because I can't develop the team that I need to, I've been just
Mhm.
developing my systems and processes in Colorado, specifically Colorado Springs.
Mhm. Great. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about partnership in real estate. You mentioned after you joined at SubTo, you tried different way to invest, and now you understand that buy and hold, co-living, this is what you like to do. And you mentioned you do everything within community, within SubTo community, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so how do you find your partners? Uh, what other red flags and blue flags? How do you find people to partner with?
Well, my first partner, I decided to marry her back in 2015. So that was number one. Definitely have to have and build some rapport between you. Have to get to know one another. And that goes for any partnership. You're legitimately dating somebody. It's strictly platonic, of course. I know some people in the
Mhm.
SubTo community have actually gotten married, but that's a different story.
Yeah,
So,
really. I did not know. I don't know
y-
such stories. Really. Oh wow.
oh yeah, through meetups and all that other stuff. But that's, yeah, you're getting to know people. You're having these deep conversations, and Yeah, we have a saying: your vibe attracts your tribe. You know, when I every time I get onto different podcasts, I have um, different videos, different Zooms that I have been on. People reach out to me and they're like, "I really like what you are doing," and then that strikes up additional conversations. People need to know what you're doing, and that's exactly what I do.
Yep.
Is I reach out in meetups, I reach out during the different Zooms inside of the community and Zooms like this outside of the community where, you know, we know each other and we talk about it. And, you know, we had an excellent conversation last week.
Beautiful. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you. And you mentioned meetups, right? So you go to a local meetups to meet different people, and uh, I've heard many stories about how people find their capital partners and lenders actually on local meetups. This is what you do, right?
That's my last acquisition. It was a friend of a friend. And I started a year ago and it was at meetups and I was telling people
Mm-hmm.
what I was doing. And we were actually, me and the individual who's in the Gator tribe, we were talking at the meetup. And then I said, "Hey, I actually do have an opportunity. And this is what it looks like." I invited him to the actual property because it was a local meetup so he can come. And he
Mm-hmm.
liked it. He's like, "Hey, I don't want to go all in. Let me bring one of my friends and see if he wants to go 50-50 with me." And so he brought another PML. And now I, you know, from one and the first guy, it was two PMLs, a husband and wife team. So now I had three individuals that I was networking with, and they liked how I did business. They liked my communication. They liked my vision. Unfortunately, we didn't close on that one. 2 months later, we did it again, and we actually closed on a property.
Mm-hmm. Here it is.
Mhm.
Here you go. Beautiful. Could you please tell us a little bit more? So how do you structure your deals?
That is how much time do we got? We got that is big question, and it really depends on the deal. And I hate that answer, but I'll give you what I typically go for. So
Mm-hmm.
I have a well-paying W-2. It would be great to have a Lamborghini in the driveway, but I don't need one, frankly. What I need are other people inside of my network, and I need to prove people to prove. I need to prove to people that what I am doing is possible and that they're comfortable with me. And relationships take time. So typically, if I bring money and they bring money, we do a cash flow split. If they're full partners and not lenders, we do a cash flow
Mm-hmm.
split based on the percentage of money brought to the deal. Um, I really want to maximize the return. I don't need depreciation, so I give them maximum depreciation, 100%. And then equity, that is a negotiation. But typically, I like to give people 50-50 because deals don't happen without your partners.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, so you want to say you don't use hard money at all. You use only private partners.
Not yet. I haven't had a reason to have hard money involved, but that is a technique. I'm now looking for value add properties where I can buy it with hard money, add the value with hard money, and then on the backside have a DSCR loan to get
Mm-hmm.
the money changed over to long-term debt.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting. So hard money for for some time, for 6 months, or for several years, right? And then you refinance your property.
Yeah, and you know, there's even ways that you can fit partners in there. Again, I like to reach out and I try to give people as much opportunity. And what I like to do is I like to be able to afford the opportunity myself. I like to put money into the opportunity to demonstrate that
Mm-hmm.
I really don't need you. I want you in this deal. I could do this. And if something goes wrong, I could pay for it myself. I can get you out of the deal if you so choose. And in the
Mm-hmm.
case of hard money, in the case of DSCR loans, you have to put certain percentage down. Okay, that's where you can fit a partner in. You don't have to do this alone, and nor should you do this alone. And it's another set of eyes. If you don't have this big team and you're just going off and doing your own things, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to be tired. You're going to miss something. I always use the TC specifically for that, a transaction coordinator from the community as well, to look over all of my paperwork. I always have a lawyer generate all of the paperwork if it isn't already created, and just forming that team, forming those partnerships, whether it's because they brought the money or even services. The three things that people bring: time, money, and skills. And you can get an equity position for all of those.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I agree. In SubTo, we have whole world inside. We have TCs who can help us with documents. We have lenders. We have deals. We have partners. Yeah, it's awesome. It's beautiful. Okay, so John, what, according to your experience, what mostly our capital partners, lenders expect from us, especially in the beginning, on the stage where you build relationship with them?
Yeah. Number one, you have to build that rapport. They are, you have to have that commonality. And investors, we're here to make money. That's the number one thing. You have to show them that you're not just some dirtbag that's going to take the money and run. You have to show them, this is what I do. This is how serious I am. Here are my systems. Here's my current operations. Whether you have this massive portfolio or you just run a team of virtual assistants, there's plenty of those people. You have to show them that you can actually produce, and then put your own skin in the game to show them that you're serious.
Yeah, it's important. But anyway, I believe even if investor doesn't have any money, it's still possible to invest, right? We can use gap lenders to cover for 6 to 8 months maybe. Yep, maybe we can use BRRRR method to build equity.
Yeah, and in there, if you aren't bringing, quote, skin in the game, then you have to be comfortable with giving control and being completely open. You have to over communicate. Have people tell you, like, okay, thank you. I really don't need you to call me every week. You know, have them on the CC line for all of your emails. Have them also in all of your text threads with my contractor. That's what I do. And, you know, my partners, they love that, because they actually are part of the operation. Even when I bring some money, it's just respectful to me to not keep people in the dark, because that's definitely a big red flag for lenders, is when there's no communication. I bring
Yep.
bad news probably every month. Something. There's a delay. Friggin' there's a storm. The guy didn't show up. The county's backed up for inspections. Like and that's just news. I wouldn't even call it bad. You know, good, bad, whatever. It's just news. But you have to build that in. And that's how you can also build rapport, by showing a legitimate, well thought out timeline in your pitch deck, saying, hey, this is how we are going to do it. Here's all the risks. Here's the risk mitigation measures that we are going to take. Here's who's responsible for those risk mitigation members to implement those. And this is what is expected from using those risk mitigation techniques. Because at the end of the day, especially when you're first meeting somebody, they don't know how you operate. You're trying to pour out all of your knowledge and all of the things that you do to somebody and with somebody in these certain deals, to somebody that has no idea. We can't read minds.
Right. They still need to know you more as an individuals. Yeah, I agree.
And that's, you know, frankly, that's why I love co-living. Like a lot of people think of it as like cosign or codependent or whatnot. I call it community living. That's how I set up my houses. And it's also about the community, the team that I make on the other side of the equation. like
Yeah.
legitimately. I want to create this network of individuals and put the people together that I can trust, that I can depend on, who can trust me, who can depend on me.
And how usually, John, how usually you, I mean, do you furnish your houses, or it depends on model? For example, sober houses. Do you have to furnish them?
Yes. So, in my experience for sober living, they're fully furnished. You don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily have to have only one person per bedroom. It really depends on fire code. Typically, it's around two per bedroom. And that
Mm-hmm.
also helps a lot of people. If you know Oxford House, the new person in the house and the house manager is how they do it.
Mm-hmm.
They typically take the master bedroom, largest room, two of them in there, and then everybody else has their own bedroom. But I
Mm-hmm.
also know other models where they maximize the amount of people inside of there, where
Yeah. Oh, you got frost again. Connection definitely not the best. Okay, just meanwhile, would like to remind you guys today our podcast about co-living, and today my guest, my friend John Riordan, we both are members of SubTo community. We both are real estate investors, and we both are into co-living. And today, John tells us about his journey and how he builds relationship with capital partners and how he sets his properties, because he has several different properties, includes a co-living for for professionals and even sober house for females. Yeah, John, you're back. I see you.
I'm back. Maybe it's telling me
Welcome
I've
back.
been talking too much.
No, 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 no. You're fine. Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing with us everything. Absolutely. And one very important question for me, for example, as in for investor, what is your procedure? How do you work with vendors, and how do you find them, and how what do you need to have before you even found a deal? Who you need to find? What kind of relationship, except partnership with capital people?
It's a great question because it's always the chicken or the egg, which came first. Personally, I like to find everything and put everything into position, getting it ready to go before I find the deal. So creating those relationships, keeping those relationships alive so that you know it's not going to be this week, it might not be this month,
Mhm,
but if it happens next week, if it happens next month, I could just call you up. I know
mhm,
when you expect your money back from a different deal you lent on. I know what you're looking for, the returns. I'm not going to bother people if it's not within their lending requirements.
mhm,
And so, yeah, that's what I like to do is I like to create those relationships and understand and have that respect for the individual. So I'm not clogging up their phone, clogging up their inbox with stuff that they're not going to lend on. They're not going to want to
mhm.
buy because especially when you're talking about partners, they're buying it with you as opposed to just strictly lending.
Yep, it's true. Yeah, it's true. So, who else do you need to run this process? You need property managers, right? You
So
need
I do all of
boots
my
on the
self management.
everything. Oh wow, it's hard.
When it rains, it pours. But you know, before I get that first call, I'm just waiting, just making sure that the payments are coming in. But then it seems, oh, this roof over here, this AC over here, and it's like, okay, all right. When you get the first call, you can
Okay.
expect two or three more.
Oh, perfect. And any specific software do you use to, for example, for property management, for example, for collecting payments or to vet your tenants?
So I use Rent Ready. So my funnel, it goes. Zillow, Facebook Marketplace, Facebook groups, um, and then Rent Ready also puts things out on apartments.com, Hotpads, um,
Mm-hmm.
and then Zillow I think also uses Trulia, and there's a bunch, and then it gets amalgamated into my email, and then I just start reaching out to these
Mm-hmm.
people directly, having those conversations. And then when I have those conversations and I find out exactly what they're looking for, because some people,
Mm-hmm.
they think, oh, this is a whole house, and I'm like, no, this is just a room. And it even said room like 12 times in my little description of it. But people are people, so you have to make sure that they're actually interested
Yeah.
in what you are offering, and then just getting them on the
Mm-hmm.
phone, talking to them, and again, building that relationship with the individual at that kind
Mm-hmm.
of landlord tenant. I call them residents, and I'm a household
Mm-hmm.
supporter because I try to let my household um,
Mm-hmm.
do its thing. I want them to act like adults, and so I let them run with the rules and get into conflict. And it's because of the way that I run my houses that I have to do a good job vetting them. And then after I have that
Mm-hmm.
conversation, I give them the application. We run through the application. I see their financial, their background, all of that stuff. Most of these people, when you're talking co-living, rent by the room, horrible credit, horrible credit. The most important thing is going to be that
Mm-hmm.
job and being able to actually
Yep.
reach out and talk to those employers, make sure that A, it's real, and B, that they're an employee in good standing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you don't do any background checks, right, for your tenants? No background
For
checks
so
for
for
tenants.
Rent Ready does all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Criminal
Cool.
background check, financial background check, all of that. Yep.
Mhm. Cool. And Rent Ready does collects payments for you, correct?
Yep. And I can set it up by unit, and then I can attach any number of units to my properties.
Mm, beautiful. So you don't use any property management at all, and you don't use any help uh, to place tenants in your houses. Everything by yourself.
Well, so
A
this
lot.
is where developing a relationship. First of all, my wife has helped me out, especially when I'm overseas.
Mhm,
She has let people in. She has let contractors in. She rolled up her sleeves and she had to move a bunch of stuff into the garage so we could uh, place new walls and a new laundry room inside of our most recent
mhm,
one. So definitely having boots on the ground. And if you don't have a spouse that can do it while you're out of town, definitely finding somebody. I've used people in Pennsylvania, SubTo members. I called them up. I said, "Hey, can you go check out this house?" Paid them for their time. I charge people for like helper stuff, $100 an hour. So
mhm,
I give $100 an hour. Like to include drive time. If people are going to spend time trying to like help me earn money, I'm not going to waste their time. Mm.
mhm. Absolutely great. Yeah, win-win situation for everyone. In this case, your lenders could probably receive some extra report with explanation how you act, how you operate, right? What system do you use? And it sounds really rational to me. Everything you do, and you don't buy, I mean, million properties at the same time. It sounds to me like first you want to operate to make sure your existing properties operated well, right? And everything on place, systems, payments, uh, tenants vetted enough, right? The ground checks. Great.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
For
mean, it's
so
slow. Go ahead.
mhm. No, go ahead, John. Go ahead, because just connection is not so good, and sometimes I hear you with in time.
Oh, sorry about that again. Yeah,
Okay.
but it's in my situation, I need to have that team. I need to put
Yep.
people together. I need to have other folks because A, I can't be there. B, it's on the ground. I need to be able to trust
Mm-hmm.
individuals. And yeah, it's intentional. That's the other thing. A lot of people just willy-nilly, especially when they go to meetups and especially when they're new, it's, oh, I'm just going to talk to everybody. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
but you can talk to a couple of people and have really great conversations. And then what did you get out of it? If you're a wholesaler and you talk to other wholesalers, like, is that what you needed? If you're a lender and
Mm-hmm.
you talk to other lenders, is that what you needed? Like, why are you talking to these individuals? And it's not to, force yourself and pigeonhole yourself. It's time is precious.
Yep, absolutely. Conversation, attentional conversation. Always. Yep. Beautiful, beautiful. So, regarding your relationship with lenders, with partners. So, for how long, guys? What is your strategy? Are you going to stay with your partners until you own the property, or until you refinance property?
Yeah, so it's private money. So it's
Mm-hmm.
all in the relationship that you've built. It's all in the opportunity that you're bringing. And it depends on, this intersection of where you are and where they are
Mm-hmm.
in their journey. A lot of people, if they just need high churn, high turnover, they need the EMD, they need the gap, they need the transactional lending. That's all you're going to get. Maybe 30 days, maybe 90 tops. Like, let's face it, EMD lenders are a dime a dozen, but you need those because wholesalers are a dime a dozen.
Mm-hmm.
Gap lenders, they're harder to come by. Now, when you're talking about whale investors where they're going to be with you for at least 5, 10 years, boy, those are really tough. You're not going to find those necessarily in the investment, the investors type of meetups. You're going to find those in other type of meetups. I'm probably going to misspeak. Who is it? Kalisha Carter. Do you know her?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 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 yeah. I
Fantastic.
know her.
She's a capital raiser, and I was listening to her one day talk about where she goes. She goes to like Bitcoin conventions. She goes to like
Bitcoin.
dental, yeah, dental expos. High income earners that might need to diversify their portfolio. Mhm.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Actually, Kalisha, she helps people from SubTo to get gap loans. You know?
I have to talk to her.
Yeah. I will send you her. I actually can introduce you to her maybe because someone introduced me to her, and I can introduce you to her, and I have her link. So yeah, she does gap loans.
Yeah. See,
Why not?
fantastic. We're
Why not?
already networking live. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because personally, me, I like the most. I like it's a BRRR method so far, and seller finance for co-living. It's just by my opinion, it's great method because you don't need capital partners for a long time. Doing BRRR method 6, 7, okay, 8 months maximum, and you refinance your house, right? And then you're fine. So you need really gap loan for several months, second lien, or bring them to your LLC, and you're okay. You can use your credit cards. I mean, 0% 12 months credit cards.
Yeah, I think we were talking about, weren't we talking about that last week?
Yeah,
Different
yeah,
strategies
yeah,
with
yeah,
0%. And so that's a thing. You want to show people that you have skin in the game. Use your 0%
yeah,
card. You have to pay that off somehow. And hey,
yeah,
I'm going to buy this property. I'm going to furnish it. I'm going to do whatever, and I can do that. And this is how I'm going to repay myself. And you just talk about it. And that's how
yep,
my lender became my partner because I was actually
yeah,
pushing out flyers to get him out of my deal because he was just a gap lender. And then he saw my flyers and he's like, I, we already have this relationship. I'm already in the
mm-hmm.
deal. Let's just change it from
Yep.
a lender position to a partner position because specifically he needed the depreciation.
Mm.
Once
Okay, great.
our room gets filled, he put in 40,000. Once the room gets filled, he'll get about $500 a month, but he also
Mm-hmm.
has 100% depreciation. I'm not going to do math live, but it turns out that depreciation is worth about $1,200 a month. And for somebody
Mm.
who needs that write off, now effectively he's getting $1,700 a month because at the end of the year he's going to be able to save $1,200 per month, an extra 14,000 and some odd change per year. He's actually earning more.
Beautiful.
hmm But that came
Beautiful.
from a conversation.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. John, could you please explain for people who doesn't understand how depreciation works and how it looks from the papers perspective and documents and everything, how it works?
All right, I have to do the disclaimer about, hey, talk to your CPA and get this all
Mm-hmm.
in your LLC operating agreements and all that other stuff. So, because I don't do any of that, I just parrot smarter people than me. So, you take the full value of your house, generally speaking,
Mm-hmm.
whole value of your house, knock off 20%. That's the land, typically. So that
Mm-hmm.
remainder 80% is the actual value of the building. The IRS, love them or hate them, whatever, they want you to own property. And so they make it depreciable. And so you take that 80%, and the IRS says for a residential home, it's going to become rubble in 27 and a half years unless you maintain it. And because it's a business expense, or even regular
Mm-hmm.
homeowners, because it's an expense in order to own, they're going to take it off of your taxes if you itemize. Standard deduction does not apply. That's why high income earners love this. And so that 80% divided by 27.5, that's how much depreciation you can have every year. There's also accelerated depreciation. I won't go into that. That's itemizing. That's paying people to actually find out the true life remainders of each one of the systems of the house, and it can get pretty complicated. But for example, the house that I'm talking about, $400,000, knock off 20%. Now we're talking about 320. Do some math, 27 and a half, and then we're left with like 14-ish, 15-ish, or whatever it is. And then you divide that by 12, and really that's an effective depreciation per month because you buy real estate for not just one purpose. Well, I guess you can buy it for one purpose, but you buy it for multiple purposes. Cash
Mm-hmm.
flow, depreciation, the buy down actually increases your equity and all of that. And then you can actually leverage the property because it's physical, and banks like lending against physicality. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, and this depreciation is just one more little cherry on top. And some people use it specifically to offset other earnings. And in this case, he's in the tax bracket above the one that most people are in that ends at 180,000. He's in the one above that one. So it just made sense.
Yeah, absolutely great. Thank you so much because many people are talking about it that not everyone knows how depreciation works.
Yeah.
Yep,
And
great.
correct me in the comments on YouTube, please cite IRS. I learn something new every day. It could have changed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't pay attention to it that much. I just
Oh, John is
Here we
overseas,
go.
guys. I'm sorry, he's already. Oh,
hmm
you're back.
That
You
was a
just
quick
got
one.
froze again.
Yeah. Talk to your lawyers and
Okay.
CPAs.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, John. Okay, guys, who are with us right now, who are watching us right now, who will be watching us in the future. This podcast is about co-living. My guest is John Riordan. He is co-living investor inside SubTo community, same just like me. I'm in SubTo and I'm co-living as well. And probably we have couple more minutes until our podcast will be done. John, thank you so much. It was awesome. Lots of great information. And people, if you want to contact with John, I'm going to leave his Facebook link under this video. Please connect with John if you want to invest in co-living. John does so far Colorado, Colorado Springs market. If you guys interested to invest in Cleveland, Ohio, contact me, please. I'm a co-living investor as well. So, John, thank you so much again. It was really, really cool. I appreciate it a lot. I know you are overseas, you are in Europe because you're W2. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Elena. It was amazing.
Thank you so much. Something as a conclusion from you, please. Something would you like to share with us? Whatever.
Yeah, don't try to do really anything alone, but especially real estate. You have to build a team anyways. You need agents, you need loan officers, you need lawyers and CPAs and everything. Do it intentionally and do it before you need them. Find who's best for you, who fits in with your model, with your mission in life, and build intentional teams. Build a community.
Great advice. Thank you so much, John. Really great advice. Team, we all need team. You cannot do it alone at all. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Connect us if you want to step into real estate. Bye-bye.